Yo, what is up NBA and basketball fans? It's me, Zach Lee, back bringing you some more NBA news. Hope you're all having a fantastic day, but with all of that being said, let's just get right into everything we gotta talk about today. So over the weekend, the OKC Thunder wound up losing to the Los Angeles Clippers. And in this game, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and Steven Adams all fouled out in regulation for the OKC Thunder, making this just the second time in the past 10 years that at least 3 starters have fouled out for one team in regulation. This rarely ever happened. And because of this and how the Thunder feel this game was officiated as a whole, with players like Paul George only scoring 16 points, the Thunder kind of lashed out at the officials after the game. More specifically, Paul George lashed out at the officials after the game. It's just bad officiating. I'm sorry, just bad officiating. We don't get a fair whistle. We haven't gotten a fair whistle all year. Somebody's got to look up into this. It's getting out of hand when we somehow just walk teams to the line. And there's nobody that gets more contact. I don't speak for myself, I speak for Russ. There's nobody that gets more contact than Russ going to the basket, and it's just crazy. Also saying, I don't understand it. It's terrible being on that floor. We're giving it everything we got, playing hard, we're getting grabbed, getting scratched, clawed, held, shoved, and there's nothing for it. The officials just walk out and there's nothing that penalizes them for not officiating the game the right way. And of course, because of these comments, Paul George was later fined $25,000 by the NBA for criticizing the officials. That's one thing that you're not allowed to do. But it wasn't just the attention of the NBA that Paul George drew with these comments. He also drew the attention of Patrick Beverley, one of the players who was responsible for guarding Paul George in that game. And if I'm being honest here, he did a pretty good job too. Once again, Paul George, one of the front runners to win MVP this year, limited to 16 points and just having one of his worst games of the season. Anyways, after Patrick Beverley heard what Paul George said, he then decided to take to Twitter to kind of give his 2 cents and say that Paul George shouldn't be blaming this on the officials and that Patrick Beverley just shut him down. Never knew you were the excuse type. Give credit where credit is due. I locked you up last night. I won the battle last night, plain and simple. And it didn't end there, as Patrick Beverley then responded to a tweet that was showing how great of defense Patrick Beverley did play on Paul George, saying, "Men lie, numbers don't." He tried to blame the refs. Nah, brah. But Paul George, known for playing some pretty good defense himself, was of course going to come out and defend his honor, defend his name, defend his reputation against Patrick Beverley, as he chimed back at Patrick Beverley by saying, "Stop it, Pat. LA has given you a platform, now stop it, brah." Now in this game, you can look at Patrick Beverley and his 0 points and say, why on earth is he talking? Patrick Beverley is Patrick Beverley and Paul George is freaking Paul George. But even though Patrick Beverley doesn't score, that doesn't matter. That's not necessarily what he's in the NBA for in the first place. He's never been a scorer. It's all been about defense for Patrick Beverley, and he still was a plus 22 in this game. And as for Paul George's complaints about the OKC Thunder not getting enough foul calls, well, even though he might feel that way, and Paul George felt the same way earlier in the season and last season as well, the Thunder as a team are one of the league best when it comes to getting to the free throw line. They get a lot of foul calls going their way, and the officials might have made some bad foul calls in this game, but that's just the nature of the NBA. It doesn't just happen to the Thunder, it happens to every team. There's bad calls literally every game. I will note though that it is unfortunate that we will not get to see the Thunder play the Clippers again this season. They're all done unless some miracle happens and they meet in the playoffs, which that will require the Thunder winning their first round as well as the Clippers upsetting the Golden State Warriors. So yeah, a playoff series between these two is not in the cards. Speaking of the Golden State Warriors though, we have a little bit to talk about when it comes to them as well. See, they lost to the Phoenix Suns last night. Yeah, Devin Booker absolutely went off in the 4th quarter, finished the game with 37 points. Because of it, the Phoenix Suns once again just beat the Golden State Warriors. Now, there's a lot of things that you can look at when it comes to the reason the Warriors lost this game. However, if you were to ask Klay Thompson, he thinks that the home crowd, the fans at the Oracle Arena last night would have been a bit more supportive, that maybe this game would have turned out differently.
Conjure up energy every single night because you're looking forward to the playoffs and that run. So we expect our fans to kind of, bring that from the jump. You can't, it's like us though, you can't bring it every night, but still, it helps when it doesn't matter if we're playing the Suns or the Bucks, whoever it is, we need that energy from them because we feed off that.
That's kind of a first, and I can see where Klay Thompson is coming from. The more energy a crowd brings, the more pumped up a team's going to get. They're going to want to play better. This is 100% true, but at the same time, it's also the responsibility of the team and the players to get the fans pumped up, to give them something to be excited about. And for the fans, a game against the Phoenix Suns isn't really the most exciting thing, especially when your team is losing. Real quick, this isn't official news. I don't want to say this is official news because it's all speculation. It's not been confirmed that any of this is true, but since we're on the topic of the Warriors game against the Phoenix Suns, there is also this. In the fourth quarter, right after the Warriors had cut the Suns' lead to 5, Steve Kerr might have been caught saying that he is so tired of Draymond Green. Now, he didn't say those words specifically. We don't even know if he said those words at all, but judging by the lip reading, that's what is being said that Steve Kerr said. Even if Steve Kerr did say this, I don't think it's necessarily the biggest deal in the world. Coworkers get tired of each other all the time. And Steve Kerr and Draymond Green, even though they have a coach-player relationship, technically I still consider them to be coworkers, and I don't think this is that big of a news story at all, but I just had to share with you guys. Since we're on the topic of drama and controversy and players talking about fans, why not let's talk about this real quick. See, James Dolan, the owner of the New York Knicks, has not been a Knick favorite for quite a while. Fans in New York don't necessarily like him. People outside of New York feel bad for Knicks fans because he's their owner. Yeah, this is the guy that skipped the NBA draft a couple of years back to go play with this garage band at some concert. Yeah, this guy is not one of the best owners out there in the NBA. And because of that, one New York Knicks fan at a game mustered up the guts to tell James Dolan to sell the team when James Dolan was walking by through the tunnels. And James Dolan heard this fan and decided not to let it go, as he responded to the fan by saying, "You think I should tell the team you must not want to see any more games?" The fan responded by saying he was just offering her opinion, to which James Dolan responded by saying, "No, it's not an opinion. And you know what? Enjoy watching them on TV." Now, it has not been verified as to whether or not this fan has been banned from the games, but the Knicks did release a statement pretty much kind of alluding to the fact that this fan was banned from the games because he told James Dolan to sell the team. Now, in my opinion, that just shows how fragile of an ego James Dolan might have, because the words of this one fan caused him to lash out like this. I mean, he tells you to sell the team and you wind up banning him from the games. Well, in my opinion, you just saved him a lot of money from having to watch this Knicks team lose. And once again, any owner who skips the NBA draft to go perform with his garage band should not be the owner of an NBA team. And speaking of the New York Knicks, now we have to talk about Kyrie Irving, except we're not going to be talking about the possibility of Kyrie Irving going to the New York Knicks this summer. No, we're going to be talking about Kyrie Irving as a person. See, Kyrie Irving over these past couple of months has seemed to be changing. He's becoming more negative, more discouraged, more depressed looking, just more frustrated in general with what seems like the entire basketball world. Yeah, Kyrie Irving has been saying some pretty interesting things, and his whole demeanor has just been strange. But now we kind of know why, as Kyrie Irving kind of voiced why he's been this way over the weekend, saying it's a little maniacal at times and a little bit repetitive because you get asked the same questions about the regular season, and we all know that. We all know it goes out the window once you get into the playoffs. The thing that matters the most is how connected you are as a team heading into the postseason. And he also says that because of how great he has become as a player, that he's become one of the top players in the league, that now he has a massive target pain on his back and people want to see him fail. The deal that I had to become aware of that I was signing up for was, once you become one of the most coveted guys in the league, you're basically signing up to be attacked for the rest of your career. You're going to be praised, you're going to be brought up, and you're going to be brought down, because that's just the nature of the business. Now, Kyrie Irving has definitely become one of the more polarizing players in the league. I'd say he's far from being the most hated player in the NBA, but he is up there, and he definitely does have some haters. And he's right. This is just the natural cycle. The bigger you become, the more haters that you're gonna have. And sticking with Kyrie Irving, see, he also has the back of his former teammate LeBron James. Before this NBA season started, we thought that Kyrie Irving and LeBron James didn't get along so well, and I don't think that they necessarily did. There was still some tension in the air between Kyrie Irving and LeBron James, until of course Kyrie Irving came out and apologized, or admitted that he apologized for LeBron for questioning how hard it was to actually be a leader. Now that Kyrie Irving himself knows how hard it is to lead a team, he has a newfound respect for LeBron James, that is clear. And it's that respect for LeBron James that caused him to feel some sympathy or empathy for what LeBron and the Lakers have been going through this season. As after the Boston Celtics beat the Lakers yesterday, Kyrie Irving had this to say on LeBron going to be missing the playoffs for the first time in a very long time.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. So I feel for him. Obviously, just missing a lot of time, as well as Brandon Ingram. But Bron's a championship. He's always been a championship contender, and he's such a great player, such a great teammate. And you know, when you're not eligible to qualify for the playoffs, it's hard. I can only imagine. So, like I said, I can only imagine. I feel for him.
Also, later on, saying that he feels bad because LeBron James went down with that groin injury early on in the season, and that's kind of what detoured the Lakers. Ever since then, they haven't been the same, and that's true. Ever since LeBron James did go down, the Lakers haven't been the same. Now, you might see some numbers being thrown around talking about the Lakers, even with LeBron, haven't been that good. They've been a 500 team, but let's not kid ourselves. Before LeBron James did go down, we were starting to see that Lakers team bond starting to come together. They still weren't going to be championship contenders, but they were for sure looking like a playoff team. No one thought they weren't going to make the playoffs. However, after LeBron went down, even when he first came back, it was never the same, and the Lakers just crumbled and fell apart. By the way, prayers out to Brandon Ingram. Hope he recovers from these blood clots. It's terrible that this happened to him, especially right when he was starting to break up. The guy was playing phenomenal, and now we get words of this. But this is bigger than basketball, so who cares about that? So let's just hope that Brandon Ingram is 100% fine and he's going to be healthy. That though is actually going to do it for everything that we gotta talk about today. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, why not go ahead and smash that like button, as well as make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you once again for watching though. You guys already know that you are the real MVPs, but all of that being said, until next time, I am out of here.